Welcome to the RAMcast, where we talk about all things related to Sioux Valley. This is your host, Brian Kirby. My co-host is always Jimmy Sickler. Thanks for being here, Jimmy.
Yes, happy to be here, Mr. Kirby.
I couldn't have asked for more support than I do right now. So, today is one of our special senior spotlights, and today we have Mr. Kalson. How are you doing?
I'm doing decent, doing good.
Awesome.
Just, preparing to be an adult.
All right, good. Well, let's dig into more of that a little bit, and let's get the show rolling.
Sounds good, yeah.
All right, Mr. Kalson, we're going to start off with question number 1 of the 10. What song will always remind you of this time in your life?
The one that immediately pops out to me because it's just sort of the song that sort of symbolizes we're moving on to the next phase of our life. It's Green Day's Good Riddance.
Okay.
That's just the one that's played at every graduation I've ever been at some point. So
Yes.
that one just
All right.
that one sticks out to me, but
Good.
realistically, if I'm trying to pick one that's more like me specifically, it isn't me specifically. It's one that. So in my first year here, because there's definitely like parallels between my class and Mr. Sandiford's. Like in the very first year here, I'm sure you've heard at some point Mr. Sandiford saying a song for like our 6th grade class. I don't know if this story's already been told by someone. I'm sure it has, but
I don't know.
he made a weird math cover of a pop song of the time, and I still remember that on some level because it's like I don't remember the song itself, but I remember the moment of like, wow, Mr. Sandiford is so talented.
Awesome.
He has a really nice voice.
Yes, agreed. Okay, so Kalson, which teacher had the most impact on you, and what will you remember about them?
I'd probably say Mr. O'Connor. Even though he hasn't been around very much these past couple years, the impact he had on me on my early years really like shaped who I am nowadays. I was sort of going in a lot of different directions when I first met him, trying to figure out, who I was as a person, trying to figure out, yeah. And he sort of gave me a good direction to start going, and he has such a strong personality, as I'm sure you know. Oh, and at the time I was just looking for someone to guide me in a direction, even if it wasn't the right direction, and he did give me a good direction. And so in general, yeah, he shaped a lot of who I am today, just a lot of my base personality.
That's awesome. I like it. What was your favorite extra or co-curricular activity?
This one's a bit newer, but Band Lab has been so fun. This one's a pretty new one, but Band Lab's been super duper fun, and I'm sad for all the kids that are coming in and not going to be able to do that because, well, I'm assuming we're not doing it more considering, Kenny. He's kind of the reason it's happening, or the reason it started in the first place. And to all those 6th graders to the few 6th graders that care enough to listen to this podcast, sucks to suck, I guess.
Okay. All right. Yep.
But yeah, Band Lab's just been a highlight of both this and last year for sure. Nothing really special. It's just like super fun.
Cool. I like it.
All right, Kalson, what class did you find the most enjoyable?
No no one class in particular really stands out to me, but one class that I can just reach into the bag that I really like is was the first tech draft
Mm,
apt. That class allowed me to bond with a lot of different kids just because it's a very large class, and in general Onshape has really shaped like how I think nowadays. Like I think in scales of Onshape nowadays. Like that's just what my imagination looks like.
okay. Awesome. Onshape is a pretty cool program for drafting. Absolutely.
I really like it. Yeah.
So, with whom do you think you had your most meaningful relationship during your senior year?
I got a much better relationship with a lot of different kids this year, especially just like getting used to dealing with middle schoolers was that one was specifically in drama. It was sort of difficult early on, but it just got easier, and that sort of helped. But realistically, no one person specifically this year has really like shaped aped a lot of things. So I don't think any one person really stands out for this one.
Okay.
Good. What was the most surprising thing you learned about yourself during your time here at Sioux Valley?
My first When I first got here to Sioux Valley, like I said in an earlier question, I was really trying to figure out who I was. Like early Kalson was really just who I thought I would be. I was the class clown, but that's all I really was. And over time, my like identity as a class clown has really changed a lot. In middle school, it was just basic like, be funny, get laughs.
Hmm.
But high school's really shaped what being a class clown has really meant. So I guess I've just learned in early high school, I thought I learned that I'm actually not funny at all. But nowadays, I've learned that I do genuinely have some level of comedic timing, especially with like drama that's helped with that.
I would agree with that. I agree. I think you can be funny for sure. So I like it.
Not as funny
Knowing
as
what
I
you know, what's that?
not as funny as I thought I once was, but I have some level of ego at this point.
Okay. Knowing what you know now, what advice would you give your younger self entering Sioux Valley for the first time?
Uh, this piece of advice wouldn't really impact me for a couple of years, but one of the most major turning points of my life was ninth grade, because that was a point where I started all of the anxiety that most people sort of eased onto in middle school. It just all came down at once. And I got through that by helping people. And as much as it's good to help people, there was one person in ninth grade who really wasn't doing very great. And I took it as my responsibility to help them through that, despite the fact we were the same age and I knew nothing. But basically, what I'm trying to say here is that like, just learn who you can and can't help, because if you put your whole self into trying to figure out how to help someone, then you might fail, and you shouldn't put your whole like don't put all your self love eggs in one basket. Basically, just don't base your whole identity off of one thing.
Good advice.
I like it.
All right. What will having graduated high school mean to you?
This one was most difficult because I feel like it's sort of a vague question. Oh, but like I guess I'm sort of just gonna take it in this direction. I guess it's just like it means I'm going into the next step of my life, realistically. It means that
Mhm.
I'm moving on out of the repetitiveness of high school into a world that can't be, guessed at. High school's pretty simple once you figure it out, but the real world, I haven't figured that out yet. I don't know what the rules are of being a, actual person.
Right. Awesome.
It means a lot of change.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Open the doors for change. I agree. How do you think this group of seniors has left its mark on Sioux Valley?
It's more. Well, firstly, we're the only class that will ever have a 100% track record of winning in the mock rock, I think.
That's a high. That's a high bar.
Assuming,
That's a
I
high
don't
bar. To,
know. I don't know if we've actually won this one yet, but I'm positive we have. And
uh,
I'd be surprised if any class ever has a 100% track record in the future. But beyond that, I don't really know. Because you sort of need an outside perspective to know, like, what the impact is. Because I just know my class and I see them just sort of being as they are. And I don't know how really we've impacted the people around us,
Mhm.
So I don't really
Got it.
know this one.
Good. What is your plan after graduation?
Uh, I want to. The long term plan is become a therapist and help the world get a little bit better. But that's going to take a decade to get done. So short term, my goal is to just see how much of college I can get through with minimizing debt because
Ooh, yeah.
I learned to avoid debt as much as I can in
Yeah.
my the money class that I don't actually remember the name of, but you know what I'm talking
Is
about.
that teacher here with us right now?
No, I think they retired last year,
Oh.
actually.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
All right.
Yeah, but yeah, I just want to see if I can get through that with this little debt. I've been saving up all of my savings from working for the past, 3 years. I've got a decent chunk saved. I can get through, 2 years of college
Wow.
with very minimal debt. I've gotten 14K saved up so far,
That's
so that's
awesome.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great start for sure. So with that's our 10 questions. So the last question I'll ask, is there anything you'd like to add that we didn't cover?
I I don't think so. No, no.
Okay. So with that, we're going to conclude this special edition, Senior Spotlight. Once again, I'm Brian Kirby, principal here at Sioux Valley, and I want to thank my co-host Jimmy for being here and all the help. Thanks, Jimmy.
Yes, thank you for having me.
And also want a big special thank you to Mr. Kalson for taking the time and going through this. Thank you very much, Kalson.
Thank you for having me.
All right. And I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast as another way to connect with our Sioux Valley community. Hope to see you at the next school event or around the community. Thanks for listening.